Well, good afternoon and welcome, sports fans, to Boydson H. Baird Gymnasium, Randy Lambert Court, here on MCScots.com, as your Maryville College Scots host the Scotties of Agnes Scott. I'm Heath Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel, bringing you this afternoon's matchup. And Scott, hopefully a solid weekend for Maryville College to really move up in the USA South standings.
Correct, Heath, and with Agnes Scott today, and then we have Wesleyan of Georgia tomorrow. Two good opportunities to come away with a really good weekend, and looking forward to it.
Absolutely, and Scott, starting off with, as we learn a little bit more about Agnes Scott, why don't you tell all of those listening kind of where they come from and how they're doing so far this season?
All right, Heath, let's start off. Agnes Scott is a private liberal arts college in downtown Decatur, Georgia. Agnes Scott currently enrolls 937 students and is affiliated with the Presbyterian Church and is considered one of the seven sisters of the South. A little bit about the team itself. It's coached by Albie Biggs, who's named the head coach in 2017, as he was an assistant for the Scotties during the 16-17 season. In his first season as head coach of the program, he led them to a pair of USA South Conference victories and laid the foundation for future success for the Scotties here. He is also a native of Rising Sun, Maryland. He came to the Scots from his alma mater in Nuestra Cordovia University, where he graduated in 2004 and served as an assistant from 2005 to 16. He is currently joined by assistant coach Whitley Wright and graduate assistant coach David McCommons. A little bit of interesting information, Heath, as well, is the series with Agnes Scott and Maryville College. Agnes Scott has 3 wins and 23 losses. Current streak against Maryville College, they have lost the last 7, and the last 10 they are 1-9. The last margin of victory, 13 points, and they have only had a 1-game winning streak against Maryville. Their last meeting with Maryville was on January 5th, which was a 48-77 loss to the Scots.
Well, certainly, Scott, if what's been going on lately for Maryville College is any indication, you might see more of the same today. Maryville dominated and had a solid victory against Covenant on January 16th, defeating Covenant 82-70. What started off as a close game, Maryville able to kind of pull away, and they were led by, 2 players that we've talked about before, but haven't typically been the top tier of the players you mentioned. You're used to mentioning Claire Varney and Livy Gardner, but how about the play against Covenant of Kelly Wandell and Brooke McCurdy? These 2 players balled out. Kelly Wandell, 20 points, 9 rebounds. Brooke McCurdy, 18 points. She also had a rebound, a steal, and Scott, they did it all. They really helped fill up the stat sheet. Libby Gardner had 14. Claire Varney had 13. Again, another situation for Maryville where, when you look right there, 4 players in double figures. When they're successful, they're moving the basketball. They're creating things offensively for multiple players and not just keeping it in the hands of Claire Varney.
Right, Heath, definitely. And after the game with Berea, we were a little concerned with the play of Kelly Wandell. Looked like that she was struggling a little bit down low. From the game against Covenant, looked like she corrected quite a few things under there, had a fantastic night. Again, just barely missed that double-double.
Absolutely, and Scott, just over the season, I think we've seen out of, the 3 post players they kind of rotate, she's probably been the most consistent. And it's one of the things Coach Trevelyan talked about a few games ago in the post-game show is that Wandell's the type of player that constantly is in his office, trying to find ways to improve, seeking his advice on what she can do to get better. And obviously it's paying off. She's been putting in the work. She deserves that. She's been in the starting lineup this season, and she is getting better and better each game. I'm excited about what we're seeing from her, and I think they've really found some success, and they've maybe found a few things in her and also in Brooke McCurdy.
Indeed, Heath, and that is something that's going to take a lot less of stress and pressure off of Libby Gardner and off of Varney as well.
Absolutely. McCurdy, a sharpshooter from the three-point line. And then you've got players coming off the bench like Upshaw who can really come in and light it up as well. You've got some scorers that can come in and help the team. Also, a new player on the lineup today. She may not be in today, but we'll probably see her very soon. Emerald Van Winkle. She's a junior guard. from Maryville, Tennessee, a 5'7" junior guard. She's from Maryville High School, played basketball there. She joins the team today, and I'm excited to see what she will bring as well. But again, we may not see action out of her today, but very possibly tomorrow, and start to get some glimpses on what she can bring to the basketball team.
That would be good. We're looking forward to seeing her come in. We definitely welcome her to the team.
Absolutely. And, Maryville, a very talented high school program, and you've got a lot of really good basketball programs in this area for high school. So I think that she comes from some good coaching, so I'm sure she'll bring a lot of good technique and fundamentals and be a big asset for the team. But getting ready to do the national anthem and starting lineup, Scott, so that will wrap up the pregame show. We'd like to let you know your pregame show today was sponsored by Blunt Partnership. Their members help provide opportunities for small business, corporate locations, manufacturing, technology, commercialization, leisure travel, and corporate retreats. Their goal is to ensure our community continues to enjoy a robust economy and opportunities to live an unrivaled quality of life. Again, thanks so much for listening to the pregame show here on mcscots.com. When we come back, we will bring you the tip-off of this afternoon's game. Getting ready to tip things off here on mcscotts.com as both teams enter the court. Your starting lineups for Agnes Scott. Number 1, Kaylin Smith. Number 2, Zoe Perchaluk. Number 15, Annie Weimerskirch. Number 23, Emma Olson. And number 31, Garris Grant. For Maryville College, number 3, Libby Gardner. Number 13, Claire Varney. Number 23, Brooke McCurdy. Number 24, Elsa Eckenrod. And number 42, Kelly Wandell. There for the tip-off, it'll be Claire Varney for Maryville College versus number 31, Garris Grant from Agnes Scott. Grant stands at 5'11". Claire Varney stands at 5'8". And here we go. And it'll start off with Agnes Scott. Ball in the hands of Kaylin Smith. Smith will get it to Grant. Now in the hands of Perchaluk, who takes it, and she'll pass it over on the left wing. Get it inside back to Grant, guarded by Wandell. Grant will take it herself, up and good. Good defense, but just a good shot from Grant, and here comes Maryville College. McCurdy gives it back to Gardner, now back to McCurdy. Over on the right wing, in the hands of Libby Gardner, the junior point guard for the Scots. A little bit of a hop step there from McCurdy, and it'll be a turnover, and the ball will go to Agnes Scott.
Yeah, it looked like a late decision as she was, or who at least she was going to pass it to, kind of slid that back foot.
Bounding the ball to Kaylin Smith, a 5'7" freshman guard from Kiln, Mississippi. Good defense, and Varney with the steal. Layup, count it.
Good job, good job. Good pressure right there by the defense.
Full court press by Maryville College. Has the ball now in the hands of Perchaluk. Still have not crossed half court. Another steal.
And I think it looks like they caught a 10-second call just before the steal.
Absolutely. So now the ball will be with Maryville College as Gardner will take it. She'll get it over in the corner to McCurdy. McCurdy thinks about it, gets it back up top to Gardner. Gardner drives, pass, nice pass to Wandell. She doesn't make the basket, but she does draw the foul.
That was a good look, good pass on her, and Wandell going up with some power that time. That's a good sign to start this game.
Absolutely, definitely encouraging. After putting up 20 points last game, you have to imagine the confidence certainly at an all-time high for Kelly Wandell. First free throw up and good.
31.
Second free throw good as well. So Maryville leads 4-2 early on in this ball game. Running out of time, so Agnes Scott takes a timeout. We'll take one with them. 8:42 in the first quarter. Early on, Maryville 4, Agnes Scott 2. Back to the action as Agnes Scott with the basketball. Kaylin Smith with the ball. Good defense. She's going to have to turn. She does get it across half court to Annie Weimerskirch. Skirch double teamed. Has to give it to Smith. Smith loses the handle. Gardner with the steal. Gardner goes up and makes the basket.
Good job by Gardner right there. Good left-handed layup.
Grant with the ball. She'll throw it across. Now on the left side is Weimerskirch. Weimerskirch brings it back out. Now on the ball in the hands of Kaylin Smith. She'll give it over to Olson on the right wing. Good defense. Not much doing there as she finally has to give it back to Kaylin Smith up top. Smith launches a three. Rebounded by Claire Varney. Good pass right over the hands of the defender. Gets it outside. McCurdy for three. Bottom.
Good movement, good ball movement right there. Good eyesight by Libby Gardner, seeing McCurdy off to the wing.
Well, and a lot of traffic in the paint, Scott, where, Gardner could try to have thrown that up there. Instead, the smart play sees open player and gets it outside to McCurdy.
Let's go. Solid.
Grant with the ball. She'll get it up top to Kaylin. Now over to Weimer-Skirch for three. No good. Rebounded by Eckenrod, and here comes the Scots. Pass to Varney, but Varney's going to be fouled.
Right, Heath, and that foul was on Zoe Perchalak. That'll be her first, the team first.
Inbounding the ball, and Eckenrod for three. No good. Rebounded by Smith. Smith guarded by Livy Gardner. She'll get it over now to Perchaluk. Grant with the ball at the top of the key. She'll get it over to Perchaluk. Running out of time here on the shot clock. Having to make a decision. Smith might have to throw up another three. Now into Grant. Grant spins. Shot. No good. Wandell with the rebound. Varney will take it across court. She'll drive. Hand it over to Eckenrod. Eckenrod inside to Wandell. Wandell goes up. No good. Rebounded by Grant, and Agnes Scott now with the ball. Despite missing that, Scott, much more aggressive by Wandell in the paint.
Definitely, Heath. I'd rather see her doing that than nothing at all. So that was good on her part.
Absolutely love what we're seeing from Kelly Wandell. A walk on Agnes Scott will give Maryville College the basketball, and before they throw the ball in bounds, two substitutions into the game.
Right, Heath. Deja White is coming in for Emma Olson for the Scotties.
Also in for Maryville College, Delaney Lowry, Shelby Hicks, and Catherine Upshaw. Hicks spins, jumper, no good, and rebounded by Deja White. Ooh, Varney with a nice steal. Give it over to Upshaw, and Upshaw will take a three. Nice.
Good setup. Had plenty of time, no challenge, and dropped a good one in there, Heath.
Maryville now with a 10-point lead and an unwarranted foul there by Eckenrod.
Now a little body on the side there. Should have just let her pass her and catch that.
The foul is on Maryville, number 24, Elsa Eckenrod. Her first, team first.
Heath, Zoe Perchaluk has exited the game in any Weimerchuk. Be playing with that name all day.
Yeah, Weimer-Skirch back in the ball game for the Scots, and for the Scotties, excuse me, and in for the Scots is Holland Geralds now enters the game for Maryville College. Hicks takes a three. Scott, it's raining threes today. Maryville College on fire so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ever since the beginning of the season where they struggled, they have been hot on the three-pointers.
Three ball now for Agnes Scott, no good. Rebounded by Varney, and here she comes. Nice pass. Hicks with the basket, no good. A little bit of a floater there instead of off the glass, and instead it'll be taken by Agnes Scott as Kaylin Smith now has the basketball, and now in the hands of Shea Sweat. Sweat inside to Grant. Grant has an opening, and she'll make him pay with a basket.
Yeah, Heath, Holland Gerald's made an attempt to go for the steal. When she missed it, it was a wide open layup for her. So, I mean, a good try, but sometimes you just got to hold your position.
Get the ball inside to Geralds. There you go. Pass to Hicks, and then Hicks will be fouled.
The foul is on Agnes Scott, number 22, Deja White. Her first, three of the team.
He's re-entering the game for Agnes Scott is Emma Olson. She is replacing Camille Lane. Sorry, had to find that.
No problem as Hicks there makes the free throw. It's now a 17-6 ball game, and also back in the game for Maryville College is Libby Gardner. Kaylin Smith with the ball, and she'll cross half court. Pass over to Weimer Skirch. Now inside and driving is White. White no good, rebounded by Olson, and Olson will make the basket. Upshaw with the ball over to Gardner now on the left wing. Gardner taking Weimer Skirch one-on-one. Layup, no good. Rebounded by Geralds. Gerald spins, sees nothing, gets it over to Lowry. Lowry, dribble, drive. She's going to have to kick it as well. And it looks like she walked.
Yeah, she just scooted that foot a little bit.
Scott, what I love to see so far, though, I mean, the post players look very aggressive down low. When they get that basketball, they're not looking to straight hand off. They're getting it. They're trying to back down the defender and looking to spin and make a shot. If nothing's there, then they look to kick.
Yeah, definitely something that looks like it's carryover from last game, so continue to do what they're doing.
Yeah, offense continuing to grow for Maryville College as they're finding that identity. Basket no good, but rebounded, and the shot is made by Deja White. Coach Trevelyan doesn't like what he sees, and he starts bringing some players back off the bench. Upshaw with the ball. Inside to Gerald, but stolen. Stolen by Kaylin Smith, and here comes Agnes Scott.
Yeah, not a lot Holland could do with that one. It was way over her head, and she just couldn't get it turned back around enough to catch that one.
Ooh, ball deflected by Delaney Lowry and recovered by Catherine Upshaw. She'll bring it over and she'll hand off to Gardner. Gardner will take a three. No good. Rebounded by Shea Sweat. Sweat drives, shot. No good, but it looks like she'll draw the foul.
Hey, they're going to call that on Holland Gerald, so that'll be her first. That is the team's second.
First free throw up and good for Sweat. And a line change for Maryville College, Scott, as Claire Varney, Elsa Eckenrod, Kelly Wandell, and looks like Brooke McCurdy back in the game.
Yes, hey, pretty much a wholesale change, I think.
Second free throw good for Sweat. So now your score 17-12. Maryville leads with 2:24 remaining in the first. Curdy over to Varney. Varney to Eckenrod on the elbow. Eckenrod drives, goes up and makes the basket.
They're going to count it. 31. That was on number 22, Deja White. I think that'll be her second foul. That is the team fourth.
Free throw up and good for Eckenrod. Here comes that full court press from Maryville. Kaylin Smith has the ball, and she's going to lose the handle. But Agnes Scott able to recover, and now the ball in the hands of Deja White. She'll get it back over to Smith to reset the offense. Weimer Skirch with the ball. Back up top to Smith. Now inside to Olson. Olson takes Wandell one-on-one, and Olson will make her pay.
A good possession by Wandell. That was a good shot.
Yeah, a little bit of finesse by Olson there with the lefty layup and making the basket. Now up for the shot is Eckenrod, and Eckenrod is fouled.
The foul is on Agnes Scott, number 22, Deja White, her third.
I think that is on Deja White. That'll be actually her third foul now, the team fifth.
First free throw up and no good.
Garris Grant is entering the game taking white space.
Eckenrod, an 82% free throw shooter, makes 1 of 2 there at the line. Scott's now with a 7-point lead with a little under a minute and a half left to go in the first as Varney makes the steal. Passes to Gardner. Gardner up with the shot and good.
Good job right there. When Maryville's got that pressure on, it's hard for the Scotties to control it, and Maryville's being some really easy layups there. Good move by Wandell as well.
Yeah, Wandell there with the deflection. Here to inbounds, and Grant gets the ball around Wandell. She'll go up with the shot, and it looks like blocked. I believe that might have been by Eckenrod. Eckenrod now with the ball, and she'll go up with the shot. It looks like knocked out of bounds. It will remain with Maryville. Varney to inbound. Eckenrod with the basket, no good, and rebounded by Grant.
As a player, you've got to hate those in and out shots.
Yeah, Eckenrod thought that was in, turned around, and then when she looked back, she saw it rim right back out. Here comes Olsen. Olsen, a lot of finesse down low, just misses out on the turnaround jumper. Now Eckenrod with the ball, and she'll give it to Libby Gardner, who pushes tempo. McCurdy for 3. No good, but good effort by Wandell, who throws it in from out of bounds, but Agnes Scott gets the ball, and Kaylin Smith, and double-teamed, having to get it out of her hands quickly and stolen. Maryville coming again, pushing that tempo. Varney with the layup, and good.
Good job, good push. Good fast-paced tempo that Maryville's doing.
Stolen again, McCurdy, layup, count it. And a nice first quarter from Maryville College. Your score after 1, Maryville 27, Agnes Scott 14. We'd like to thank our hometown sponsors that support this outstanding NCAA Division III athletic department. Those include Blunt Partnership, GoTees.com, Cookout, LeCompte Wealth Management, Campbell Parney Rentals, Kinjo Markets, Airport Hilton, and Firehouse Subs. Again, thank you so much for all you do. And when we return, we will bring you the second quarter of action here on MCScotts.com. Second quarter of action is underway. Maryville with the basketball. Maryville ended the first quarter with a lead of 27-14. They'll get it inside this time to Eckenrod. He'll spin around, no good on the basket, and rebounded by number 11, Shea Sweat of Agnes Scott. She'll turn, get it to Smith. Smith pulls up with a jumper, no good. Rebounded by Grant. Grant will have to get it out quickly. Perchelek moves the ball around, and Kaylin Smith back with the basketball at the top. Sets the offense. She'll give it over to Olsen. Almost deflected. Olsen recovers. Tough defense and active hands by this Maryville College defense. And their ball is stolen by Eckenrod, and it looks like as Eckenrod goes to take off, she is fouled by Zoe Perchelek.
And Heath, that'll actually be her second. That'll be team first for the quarter. She got a little cute there trying to just roll the ball between her legs to get out of that trap. But
yeah, Eckenrod figured it out and was able to steal the basketball. A stop in time by the referee, and it looks like what's going on is he's setting the shot clock. Shot clock did not begin when Maryville got the ball. So now 21 seconds on the shot clock. Barney with the basketball. She'll drive, she'll go up. No good, but she'll be fouled.
31.
The foul is on Agnes Scott, number 1.
Heath, that'll be on number 1, Caitlin Smith. That'll be her first. That is a team second for the period.
Line, Claire Barney.
Free throw up and good.
31, got another new one.
Heath likes
Finish those things inside.
any Weimerskis. I know I'm working on that one.
Weimerskirch
Weimerskirts.
is in the ball game, also in for Maryville, Shelby Hicks and Delaney Lowry.
And Varney got that rebound on that, put that back in. So good play by Varney.
Another good play here by Maryville as Gardner able to deflect the basketball away from Kaylin Smith. It'll go out of bounds. It'll remain with Agnes Scott. Smith inbound, she gives the ball to Grant. Grant guarded by Hicks. And they're going to call a blocking foul on Shelby Hicks.
Right, Heath, and it looks like the crowd necessarily wasn't in favor of that, but she wasn't set, and it was a good play. So it's going to be her first and team first. So
Look at it back into Grant. She'll go up with the jumper and good. And honestly, Scott, that's really your best bet at this point is get the ball in the hands of Olsen and Grant if you're Agnes Scott. Gardner turns, she fires the ball over to Catherine Upshaw. Upshaw now to Delaney Lowry. She'll give it to Upshaw, who will now turn. Picked up her dribble, though. She'll have to give it away. Now Gardner with the basketball. Gardner drives. Shot up. No good. Rebounded by Grant.
yeah, it was a little high off the glass. Excuse me. Looks like Garris Grant kind of distracted Varney or Libby just a little bit. Made her throw that a little higher off the glass than what she wanted to.
And Grant trying to post up again down low, but a lot of action going up top as Kaylin Smith loses the ball and then has to fight for it with Clara Varney. Results in a jump ball, and the ball will remain with Agnes Scott.
Good play by Varney. Good tough defense.
Substitution there in the break in action is Brooke McCurdy back into the basketball game as Libby Gardner will go to the bench. Perchluck with the ball. Up top, now back over to Smith. Smith for three. No good. Olsen with the rebound.
I think they're going to be calling that on Delaney Lowry. That'll be her first foul. That'll be the team's second for this period.
Smith inbound for Agnes Scott. Grant trying to get open down low. Ball deflected by Lowry, recovered by Varney. Here comes Maryville. She'll get it over to McCurdy. McCurdy inside, and just a little bit high as Shelby Hicks unable to come down with it out of bounds. Agnes Scott will get the ball. Not a bad thought there, just a little too excited and fired it a little too high.
Work that. There you go. Come your way, D.
Perchluck has to give the ball over to Grant. Grant now over to Weimerskirch. She tries to get it inside to Olsen, overthrows her out of bounds, and Maryville now with the ball.
Good defense there, Heath, by Hicks as well, keeping her away from that ball.
Barney turns and gives the ball over to McCurdy. McCurdy again, just a little bit too high. Turns the ball over, and Agnes Scott back with the ball as Kaylin Smith brings it across half court. She'll get it into Olsen. Olsen comes, spins, shot, no good. Rebounded by Delaney Lowry.
Here we got number 11, Chase Sweet, coming in for Zoe Perchuk. I said Sweet, it's Sweat.
Kaylin Smith now with the ball. She'll get a pick from Olsen, who will now roll to the basket, but they'll move it outside and then get it inside to Grant, who goes up and misses the shot. Looks like they're going to get Livy Gardner on the foul.
Right, good thought by Livy trying to draw the charge. She was just in the zone. She couldn't be in that restricted area.
And missing the first free throw is Garris Grant, a junior forward from Charleston, South Carolina. Second free throw good, and with that, Agnes Scott will take a timeout. We'll take one with them. 6:24 remaining in the second quarter. Maryville 30, Agnes Scott 17. Back on the court, and Maryville College with the ball. Libby Gardner will get it over to McCurdy, who will give it over to Eckenrod in the corner. Now inside to Shelby Hicks.
Keith, it looks like a 3-second call, but I couldn't see who they got that one up. And Holland Gerald is returning along with Claire Varney back to the Maryville lineup.
So with the 3-second, it will now give the ball to Agnes Scott as freshman guard Kaylin Smith with the basketball. Almost a walk there as she almost falls backwards, but is able to get it away in time. They now get the ball inside to Grant, and Grant, their playmaker, turns and makes the shot. They get the ball outside, and Gardner's going to take a three. No good, but looks like Eckenrod comes away with it. And Olsen battles her for a jump ball, and the possession arrow will go to Maryville College. Scott talking about Grant, Garris Grant, the junior forward for Agnes Scott, being a big playmaker for them. She has 11 of the 19 points for Agnes Scott. As Grant comes away with a rebound there, and she will hand the ball over to Kaylin Smith now, who will bring it across half court. Grant with the ball at the top of the key. She's going to try to get it inside and up with the shot and blocked, this time by Brooke McCurdy. And here comes Eckenrod, who will give it back to McCurdy. Now over to Varney. Varney for three. No good, rebounded by Kaylin Smith.
The last couple of moves by Maryville down the court have all been shooting threes. Losing a little bit of their touch right there. Probably work the ball back inside a little bit. and then start working out some more. You don't want to allow this team back in while you're shooting threes.
Ball stolen by Holland Geralds, and she'll give it over to Livy Gardner. Now Eckenrod with a chance for a three ball. No good. Just a little bit short there on the shot. And
That's what I'm talking about, 3 consecutive 3 attempts.
Yeah, and Scott, right on the money as Coach Trevelyan turns towards his players and says, hey, why don't we shoot layups? And just tries to remind him, hey, let's try to get the ball inside, create some offense. We've got, all this time here, especially with the shot clock. We don't have to rush. Grant with the ball, and she'll drive. It'll go off her foot, though, and now Maryville basketball.
That's good defense by Holland Geralds there, keeping her body in front and between the player and the basket, not letting her be able to drive, causing that turnover.
Gardner crosses half court and gives the ball over to Clara Varney. Now in the corner to McCurdy, inside to Geralds. Geralds turns the spin but loses the basketball. Recovered by Agnes Scott. Maryville fights for it, and it'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow will go to Agnes Scott. Ball in the hands of Olsen. And tight defense by Eckenrod. Olsen will have to give it away to Weimerskirch. Weimerskirch under the goal, tries to pass it outside, stolen by Claire Varney. Varney with a nice bounce pass to Gardner, and Gardner with the layup.
A good recovery by Gardner, as well as the pass was almost into the basket when she caught it and was able to kind of pull her body up just enough in time to get that in there.
Kaylin Smith for 3, and good. Is able to create some space from the pick, and it makes a nice shot as Gardner now with the ball, and she'll bring it across court as 2 Maryville College Scots sit over by the scorer's table getting ready to come into the basketball game. They'll get the ball inside to Geralds. Geralds with the pass to Eckenrod. Eckenrod no good, rebounded by Agnes Scott. Weimerskirch gets it out of her hands to Grant, gets it over to Kaylin Smith. Smith to Olsen. Olsen thinks about it. Sides against, so decide to drive. Tough defense. She'll get it to Grant, and Grant with the jumper. No good, rebounded by Geralds. Varney to Gardner. Gardner pump fake. Over to McCurdy. McCurdy, 3-ball. No good on the 3, and now substitutions into the ball game.
8th entering the game for the Scotties is Zoe Perchulak. She is replacing Shay Sweat.
And now in the game for Maryville College, Kelly Wandell and Delaney Lowry. Smith with another 3. No good, rebounded by Grant. Looks like Maryville College trying to get a charge there, but it will not be called as another ball jumper is missed. Maryville College gets it. They'll throw it down court to McCurdy. McCurdy under the basket. Back up top to Gardner. Back over to McCurdy, and McCurdy makes the 3.
Good movement, good movement. That's good movement by Maryville, getting the ball around, seeing they didn't have a shot underneath, kicking it back out.
Yeah, and a little bit more time taken there offensively, and it certainly paid dividends. As now your score with 1:52 remaining in the second. Maryville 35, Agnes Scott 22. Maryville College took a timeout. We'll take one as well. You're listening to MCScots.com. Agnes Scott inbounds, and ball in the hands of Kaylin Smith. Tough defense, but Olsen able to get the ball. Bounce pass, Deja White, basket, good.
Yeah, Lowry left kind of alone out there on the 2-on-1. That's something where you kind of have to read the person with the ball's eyes, because she kind of you could see it in her face. She looked at the other player to let her know she was going to pass the ball to her. So that's something, it's kind of a learned thing, but kind of watch the dribbler's eyes.
Yeah, certainly tough to do in a 2-on-1 anytime, as Maryville just missed the shot down low, and Agnes Scott's now back with the basketball. Deja White down low, and over the back and fouling her is Kelly Wandell.
The foul is on Maryville, number 42, Kelly Wandell, her first 4 on the team. At the line.
Pete, that'll be Kelly's first. That will be the 4th for Maryville for this period.
So at the line shooting 2 is number 22, Deja White, and White makes the first. Second one up and no good. Rebounded by Claire Varney. She'll get it down across court to Gardner. Gardner over to Upshaw. Upshaw takes a 3 of her own, and she'll make the 3.
Good shot. Good shot by her. Good look again by Libby. She's being able to see the court better.
Good defense. Olsen turns around, shoots a jumper. No good. Battling for it. Deja White comes away with it. Now ball in the hands of Zoe Perchaluk. Perchaluk over to Smith. Smith now gives it to Weimer Skirch, who crosses court. Perchaluk now with the ball. Now over to Deja White. White guarded by Wandell. Back up top. Weimer Skirch for 3 and good.
Good shot. Maryville kind of pulled back on the defense there, let her wide open, gave her plenty of time to shoot that.
10-point lead for Maryville, and 4 seconds remain here in the second. Last shot, Varney up, no good, rebounded by Wandell. And running out of time and unable to try another attempt is Maryville College. So that'll be the end of the first half. Your score, Maryville College 38, Agnes Scott 28. A solid first half as Maryville goes to the locker room with the lead. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will bring you the halftime segment here on mcscotts.com, brought to you by Cookout. Make plans to get the best barbecue, burgers, shakes, and more in the area at Cookout at 1305 West Lamar Alexander Parkway. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome into the MCScotts.com halftime show, brought to you by Cookout. Make plans to get the best barbecue, burgers, shakes, and more in the area at Cookout at 1305 West Lamar Alexander Parkway. I'm Heath Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel, and at the half, your score, Maryville College 38, Agnes Scott 28. A game that, for the most part, Scott has been dominated by Maryville College. Agnes Scott has had a few runs here and there, but I don't think there's been any question who's in control of this ballgame.
Right, Heath, and basically from the tip-off, Agnes Scott scored first. Maryville tied it and has taken it away from there since then. Just kind of looking at some team stats so far for the first half, Agnes Scott is 11 of 26 in field goal percentage for 42%, 3 of 7 in three-point attempts for 28.6%, and 4 of 6 for 66.7% in free throws. Maryville College is 13 of 32 for 40.6% in field goals, 5 of 12 in three-point attempts for 41.7. Free throws there, 7 of 9 for 77.8%. Pretty good team stat going so far. Points then from turnovers, which has really been the difference here from Maryville. 18 points from Maryville, only 5 for the Scotties. Points in the paint, Maryville is tied with them. Both teams are showing a little bit of work underneath, both scoring 16. Fast break, again, result, I believe, of the points from the turnovers. 16 from Maryville. One of the stats that really stands out to me more than anything else, Heath, is turnovers. Agnes Scott has 16, Maryville has 9, which is something that the last time we were here when we played Berea caused Maryville a lot of problems. Today, Maryville is returning that over to Agnes Scott and causing them problems.
Absolutely, and one of those team statistics, Scott, that you were talking about there that stands out, as we mentioned, is the three ball has certainly improved throughout the season for Maryville College, as they are shooting 41% tonight. Agnes Scott shooting 28% from behind the arc. So that has been a big difference maker as we look at the individual team statistics in regards to points. Right now, leading the way for Agnes Scott is Garris Grant. She has 11 of the 28 points so far for the Scotties. Then behind her, you've got Emma Olson with 4, Kaylin Smith with 3, Anna Weimer-Skirch with 3, Shay Sweat with 2, and Deja White with 5. Garris Grant also leads the way in rebounds with 6. Looking for Maryville, if you're Coach Trevelyan, you have to be really happy with what you're seeing here statistically, Scott, as no player over 10 points from the first half, but a lot of players have scored in the first half. So really, that says a lot about the movement of the offense and a lot of people getting involved and making a difference. As leading the way, Brooke McCurdy has 8, Claire Varney has 7, Libby Gardner has 6, Catherine Upshaw has 6, Elsa Eckenrod has 4, Shelby Hicks also has 5, and Kelly Wandell with 2. Leading rebounders, Kelly Wandell has 4, and Claire Varney has 4. Also of note, Catherine Upshaw, 2 of 2 from behind the three-point line. So Maryville College distributing the ball to several different players, and that just makes it makes it even harder for Agnes Scott to know who to defend when you have so many people who can make a difference.
Exactly, Heath. And one of the things I'm really pleased with seeing tonight, and I'm sure Coach Trevelyan is too, is the passing the ball around. They're trying to find that open person, trying to get the ball where they're not trying to force shots this time, just throwing up anything over their head. They're actually working to find an open person, getting some good looks, whether they're not falling on all of them, but they are getting some good looks and some good shots in. So definitely working better as a team today instead of so much individual stuff.
Scott, we talked about the turnovers earlier. Points off of turnovers. Maryville's gotten 18 points off of turnovers from Agnes Scott. Agnes Scott has only capitalized and scored 5 points off of turnover steals. Maryville College with 12, Agnes Scott with 3. So the defensive presence as well always has been a big factor for Maryville, helping out tonight as that ferocious full court press. But about a minute away from starting the third quarter, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to bring you the second half of action. And here we go with the second half of action as Maryville College will start off with the basketball. Ball now in the hands of Claire Varney, and she'll get it in the corner to Libby Gardner. They'll move it back up top to Eckenrod, now over to McCurdy, now swinging it in the corner to Varney. Varney for three, and that's how you start the third quarter.
Definitely a very good start right there. And that actually gives Claire Varney her 10th point for the game.
Maryville College with another steal and back in the hands of the Scots as Gardner now with a three and back to back.
Good shot by Varney. Good pressure by Maryville. That makes 21 points on turnovers so far. And that gives Gardner her 9th point for the game.
Tough defense. Maryville College making it difficult for Agnes Scott, but they do make it across half court, and now the ball in the hands of Kaylin Smith. Smith over to Olsen. Olsen to Perchaluk. They're looking inside, trying to get the ball to Grant, but Maryville not letting them do so thus far. Back to Kaylin Smith. They do get it now at the free throw line to Grant. Grant will spin, turn, give the ball to Weimerskirch. Shot clock winding down, back to Grant. Grant, jumper, no good.
That's a 24-second or 30-second clock. Sorry. Wrong.
Shot clock violation for Agnes Scott, and Maryville now with the ball. Ball over to Claire Varney. Getting things set up and players moving. Now trying to get open on the three-point line as Gardner fires it over to McCurdy, and McCurdy fires. No good on the three, rebounded by Wandell. Wandell with her 5th rebound of the game. Gardner over to McCurdy. McCurdy inside, Eckenrod, spin, up, and foul.
In the heat, that'll be on Garris Grant. That'll be her second, team first for the period.
First free throw up and good for Varney. Second free throw good as well. Varney now an 82% free throw shooter from the line today. She's 3 of 4. Agnes Scott trying to break the press by moving the ball quickly down the court, causes for some sloppy passes, and Maryville with the ball, and McCurdy up for the three and no good. Kaylin Smith now gets the ball for Agnes Scott, guarded by Claire Varney and Libby Gardner. She throws another errant pass, and here comes another steal as McCurdy gives it to Varney. Varney past the Gardner, layup, good.
Good look by Varney right there, seeing Gardner open on the other side. Good pass to her, good layup, good start.
Absolutely, timeout by Agnes Scott, and we'll take one with them. Your score with 7:48 remaining in the third quarter. Maryville 48, Agnes Scott 28. We'll be right back. Agnes Scott with the inbound, and Kaylin Smith almost losing the handle. She'll get it over to Grant, but tipped away by Wandell and stolen by Maryville College, and it'll be a jump ball as Perchaluk dives in to battle it out with Claire Varney. Possession arrow will remain with Agnes Scott. Looks like he might have been questioning if that was a half-court violation, a going back court violation, excuse me, but looks like because her foot was in the front court, she was all right, and it only resulted in a jump ball. So Agnes Scott has the basketball, and Kaylin Smith tries to throw it inside to Grant. Knocked away by Elsa Eckenrod, but Grant recovers, She'll hand it off to Weimerskirch. Weimerskirch has to throw up a prayer as the shot clock winds down. And Maryville now with the ball. Eckenrod to Gardner. Back to Eckenrod. Pump fake. Drive. Shot. No good. Rebounded by Eckenrod. Eckenrod up. No good. Almost rebounded again by Eckenrod. But Olsen able to pull it away, but then she loses the ball. Varney recovers for Maryville. Ball in the hands of Varney. Now to Eckenrod and back to Varney. Eckenrod drives. Just a little bit short there as Agnes Scott recovers. They'll get the ball and they'll push down the court. Smith to Weimerskirch. Weimerskirch to Grant. Percherluck over in the corner. She'll get it inside to Olsen, and Olsen wide open as she gets around Wandell, and she makes the basket.
That's a good move by her as well, just being able to get around Wandell. Wandell kind of got picked a little bit on that play and gave her a good open look. Eckenrod, though, has done really aggressive down here for Maryville.
Yeah, absolutely, as Varney makes a three-pointer for Maryville.
Yes, that was a charge.
Nice job to smart play by Eckenrod. If she saw Smith coming to try to get the ball with her head up, not looking forward, and Eckenrod sets up and takes it.
That'll be Kaylin Smith's second. Shay Sweat is coming in now, and she is replacing Zoe Percherluck.
Now in the ball game for the Scots, Holland Geralds, Catherine Upshaw, and Delaney Lowry enter the game. Inbound to Gardner. Now to Upshaw. Varney gets into the middle of the zone, and then she'll get it now and take it outside. She'll get it to Lowry. Lowry kicks. Gardner for three.
Little high bounce there, kind of pinballed around the back of the goal there.
Yeah, back and over the back of the goal will result in a turnover as Agnes Scott with the ball. Kaylin Smith gets it over to Sweat. Shea Sweat now at the top of the key. We'll get it over to Weimerskirch. Skirch guarded closely by Gardner.
It looks like a push-off on Kaylin Smith there. That'll be her third foul.
Delaney Lowry inbounds the ball to Libby Gardner. Gardner across half court. Ball over to Varney. Now Gerald's at the free throw line, and Olsen battles out with Gerald and forces a jump ball. Ball will stay with Maryville.
Right, Heath Holland turned on that one, and she turned right into Olsen and just basically handed the ball right in her lap. Good thing for Maryville, it does come back to them.
Nice effort there as Varney jumps up high and comes away with the rebound, and then she's going to be fouled by Shea Sweat.
That'll be Sweat's first foul, Heath. And number 22, Deja White, is coming in. She is replacing Garris Grant, giving her a little bit of a break.
Maryville inbounds to Varney. Varney now over to Upshaw on the right wing. And another foul is going to be called on Agnes Scott.
Yeah, it looks like that'll be on Kaylin Smith again. For pushing, she just basically pushed her way right through Varney. And that will be Kaylin Smith's fourth foul, Heath. Looks like she's fixing to be replaced.
So Varney at the line. First free throw up and no good.
Re-entering the game, Heath, is Zoe Percherluck taking Smith's place.
Second free throw, no good as well for Claire Varney. inside, ball to Shea Sweat. Shea Sweat up and good.
Basket by Shea Sweat.
Libby Gardner with the ball, and she'll give it over to Varney. Varney now inside to Gerald's. Gerald's battles. Gerald's up and good.
Good move by Holland right there. Saw that she had an open. She was able to split the defenders and force her way out. That was very good.
Very aggressive. Shea Sweat with the ball, guarded by Holland Geralds. She'll get it over to Perchaluk. Perchaluk inside. Weimer skirts, basket, no good. Rebounded by Gardner. And pushing the tempo, she gets it down to Varney very quickly. Varney on the left wing, back to Gardner. Now Varney with a three, no good. And rebounded by Emma Olson. Shea Sweat on the left wing with the basketball. Gets a pick from Deja White. She takes it, spins around Gerald's, up with the shot, and a nice move by Shea Sweat.
Yeah, Sweat using some good body control over there, just basically pushing Gerald's out of her way as she went around her.
Gardner with the jumper, good.
Good shot.
And a timeout by Maryville College, and we'll take one with them. Your score with 3:12 remaining in the third quarter. It's Maryville 55, Agnes Scott 36. You're listening to mcscotts.com. Agnes Scott with the basketball after the break. 3:05 remaining in the third. It's 55-34 Maryville.
During the break, Garris Grant returns. She replaces Emma Olson.
Grant almost loses the ball there as Varney reaches in and is able to knock it away. Grant recovers though. She'll give it to Weimer Skirch, and then Weimer Skirch knocks it off of her foot, trying to drive to the basket. It'll be a turnover, and now to inbounds is Shelby Hicks for Maryville College, who has entered the game. Looks like Hicks, Wandale, and McCurdy all now in the game for Maryville. As McCurdy over to Upshaw. Upshaw with the three. And Scott, if I'm correct, Upshaw is now 3 of 3 from the three-point line. And we'll double check that stat for you in a minute, but she was 2 of 2 at the half, and I think that's her first 3 of the second half.
It was a good shot either way.
Yeah, she can light it up, and certainly, as we mentioned in the pregame show, a really nice scorer to have coming off the bench.
I like the way I got your name in when you weren't even on the floor. I said your name, you weren't even on the floor.
Hicks with the basket, and a nice turnaround jumper by Shelby Hicks.
Good shot, good set. Clear, nobody was even near her Heath on that one. That's kind of one you want as an offensive player.
And this lead is starting to build for Maryville. It's now a 24-point lead for the Scots. Perchaluk gets the ball inside to Grant. Grant double teamed, and they'll say she walked, and it'll be a turnover. Now coming in for Maryville, number 3 Libby Gardner back in the game, and Elsa Eckenrod back in as well.
Yeah, good work by Varney there. Grant caught the ball, turned to come into the inside, wasn't expecting to see Varney there, and shuffled her feet a little bit before she could try to shoot. Good pass.
Good pass and better basket by Shelby Hicks. Now the lead 62-36 for Maryville. A minute 30 remains in the third. 26-point ball game. Sweat hands the ball off to Deja White. Now inside to Grant, guarded by Wandale. And Wandale doesn't have an advantage there, and she kind of has to foul.
The foul is on Maryville, number 42, Kelly Wandale, her second, team first.
Heath, that'll be Kelly's second foul for this. This will be the first for Maryville for this quarter.
First free throw up and no good by Grant.
And Heath, I believe you're right. She is 3 for 3. She has 9 points now.
Entering the game for Agnes Scott, number 10, Ashlyn Edwards, a 5'6" senior guard from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Also entering the game, Emma Olson returns back. She is out of Austin, Texas.
And Olson, another solid player, only a freshman, a 5'9" freshman forward. Good player for the future for Agnes Scott.
Yeah, she's impressed me tonight. She's played a really good game.
So the second of 2 free throws made by Grant. Now Maryville with the ball, but tipped away and recovered by Agnes Scott. Maryville almost gets it back as Ashlyn Edwards with the basketball. Gets it over to Perchaluk. Perchaluk to Olson. Olson back to Perchaluk, and Perchaluk will drive. Nice pass. That time to Grant, and Grant makes the basket and gets the foul.
It's going to be on Kelly Wandell. That'll be her third.
Free throw up and good for Grant. So now a 22-point lead for Maryville, as we've got 37 seconds remaining on the clock here in the third. About a 12-point difference, or a 12-second difference, between the clock and the shot clock, as there is now 14 seconds left in the shot clock, and Livy Gardner with the ball at the top. Turns and gives it to Gardner. Back up top to Livy, as Livy will turn. She'll try to get it inside to Wandell. Wandell guarded by Grant. Pass to Hicks. Hicks good with the basket.
Good shot. It's right before the buzzer, too.
Nice offense.
Yes.
And really good passing by Maryville. Taking their time. Throwing up a prayer there is Shea Sweat, and she will not come close. As your score at the end of the third, Maryville 64, Agnes Scott 40. You're listening to MCScotts.com, and when we return, we will bring you the last quarter of action here at Maryville College. We begin the fourth quarter, and Agnes Scott starts with the basketball. But not for long, as it's stolen by Maryville as McCurdy turns and passes to Gardner. Gardner drives, makes the layup.
Good pressure by Maryville, good steal, and again, they're showing a really good job of running the fast breaks.
Shea Sweat turns and passes to Olson, now trying to get it inside to Grant, and stolen again by Maryville. Pass quickly down the court, and trying to throw it into a little bit of traffic there as Edwards gets the steal, and then Edwards tries a fancy pass over to Sweat. She'll throw the ball away, and Maryville will get the ball right back.
Yeah, good thought, but unfortunately the ladies in the stands are not the ones she was shooting for.
McCurdy has the ball over in the corner. Gets a pick from Wandell, brings it back up top, and gives it to Claire Varney. Varney to Gardner. Now to Varney, now inside to Eckenrod. Eckenrod posting up Olson. She'll go up with the basket and no good. Rebounded by Wandell, and a nice hustle play by Kelly Wandell down low.
And Grant tied her up down there, Heath, but It'll stay Maryville's ball here.
Yeah, possession arrow will stay with Maryville as McCurdy will inbound. She'll give it to Wandale, and now back up on the right wing is Gardner, who gives it over, and McCurdy with the ball, and McCurdy with the three.
And that'll give Brooke 11 points now for the game, and add another player to double digits. Oh, good hands there.
Another jump ball, and possession arrow will be with Agnes Scott.
Still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Some discussions about the shot clock, and they're going to have it reset to 26. As Kaylin Smith will get the inbound for Agnes Scott. She'll get it over to Weimer-Skirch, and Weimer-Skirch will throw up a three. No good, but rebounded by Olsen, but stolen by Elsa Eckenrod.
Good hands by Eckenrod there, be able to get in there and steal that ball out of.
And three ball by Brooke McCurdy. Scott, we're now up to a 32-point lead for Maryville, as it is 72-40. And we have two players for Maryville over at the scorer's table getting ready to come in a moment, as Maryville with another steal and Varney with the basketball. They'll get it over to Eckenrod, and Eckenrod will take a three. No good, and rebounded by Weimer-Skirch. Kaylin Smith with the ball. She'll have it give over to Grant. Tipped away, though, by Wandale, and then Eckenrod able to come away with it. She'll get it down court quickly to McCurdy, but McCurdy almost loses it and has to fire it back up top. Now over to Gardner.
Good footwork.
Yeah.
Keep herself in bounds there.
They'll get it inside to Wandale. Wandale trying to post up, but triple teamed, and then battling down low with Shea Sweat. And another jump ball, possession arrow this time with Maryville.
Yeah, Wandale, I don't believe, realized she had an open lane when she first got that pass, and it was waiting for the play to set. If she had been able to realize that, I think she would have just turned and went for that layup.
Delaney Lowry, Catherine Upshaw, and Shelby Hicks now in the game. And Upshaw with a three, and good, and she is on fire. 4 of 4 from behind the arc tonight for Catherine Upshaw.
Can't get much better than that.
Absolutely. They get it inside to Grant. Grant guarded by Hicks. Grant turns, shot up, no good, but rebounded now by Maryville as Gardner gets the basketball. Down court over to Upshaw.
Oh.
Oh no, and that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh gosh.
It looked like she had jumped for the ball, and when she came down, she may have come down on the player's foot, but you could definitely see her ankle twist, and she went right down to the ground. She's back up now, which is really good news.
I think the real good thing there, Scott, is originally, I think the thought was the knee, as she caught it and turned and immediately hit the ground, and you were really concerned for Upshaw, but you know, it looks like hopefully it's just her ankle. They'll get her out, let her rest. There's no need for her to really come back into this ballgame at this point. McCurdy now enters for Maryville. So Agnes Scott's inbound, and they'll get the ball to Kaylin Smith. Smith decides to take a three. No good, rebounded by Brooke McCurdy. And here comes Maryville. McCurdy just missed Libby Gardner going to the basket. Would have had a wide open layup there, but they'll get it inside to Shelby Hicks. Hicks now up top to Gardner. Gardner for three. No good, rebounded by Kaylin Smith. They'll get it over to Grant. Grant looks to throw it inside to Olsen. Olsen gets around Lowry and goes up with a shot. No good, rebounded by Libby Gardner. Pass, shot, no good, but rebounded by Lowry. Lowry with the shot, and she'll make it.
Good rebound, good rebound. Now Lowry gets on the board tonight as well.
Smith over to Olsen. Just a little too hot to handle. Olsen loses it. It goes out of bounds. It'll be back to Maryville. And now a substitution in the game for the Scots.
Yeah, that'll be Eckenrod coming in for Varney.
Triangle, triangle, triangle. Hey, we're 2-1 now. 2-1.
Gardner gets the ball, and she'll hand it off to Brooke McCurdy. Now over to Elsa Eckenrod. Eckenrod to Lowry. Lowry turns, spins, shot, but blocked.
The foul is on Maryville, number 32, Delaney.
That'll be on Delaney Lowry.
Her second.
It'll be her second for the game, the team's first for the quarter. It was good try, but Grant was right there in her face, wouldn't let her get that shot up, blocked it, and then she fouled her trying to get the ball away from Grant.
Deja White in the game for Agnes Scott now. She came in just a moment ago. Moves the ball around the court.
Good job.
And as Perchluck tries to make the pass, Libby Gardner makes the steal and the layup. Got a good sign here as Upshaw back at the scorer's table getting ready to check back in. Turn around jumper from White is no good. Rebounded by Maryville. Eckenrod with the ball. Paul and Gerald's over here now getting ready to check in as well as McCurdy goes up for the three. No good. Rebounded by Grant. Kaylin Smith with the ball. Over quickly to Perchluck. Perchluck with the jumper. No good. Rebounded by Brooke McCurdy.
Triangle, triangle, triangle.
McCurdy takes it, goes up with the shot, and no good, and rebounded by Grant of Agnes Scotch. Oh, now over to Kaylin Smith. Perchlock with the ball in the corner, guarded by Lowry. She'll get over to Smith, and Smith will shoot the three, and good.
That was a good shot. I don't think anyone was looking for that one, but
Gardner with the ball. She picks up her dribble, has to give it over to McCurdy. Now to Hicks. Hicks back to McCurdy. Over to Gardner. Gardner pump fake. Gardner drive. Pass, but losing the handle. Recovered by Eckenrod. Eckenrod up with the shot and good.
good shot by Eckenrod. He's coming in for Agnes Scott. Shay Sweat is coming in. She is replacing Annie Weimerskirch. I thought you'd take me out.
You're getting closer and closer each time. All right, Maryville had some substitutions as well as Upshaw is back in the game, as well as Holland Geralds. Driving is Ashlyn Edwards, up with the shot, no good. Rebounded by Geralds, and Geralds will hand the ball off to McCurdy as Coach Trevelyan reminds McCurdy slow things down and gets the team set. Ball to Lowry down the left wing. Now to Geralds. Inside trying to post up is Hicks. Unable to do so. They'll get the ball to the outside. The three ball, no good by Brooke McCurdy. Kaylin Smith with the ball. Kaylin Smith will drive. Kaylin Smith will be blocked, but she'll recover the rebound, but looks like she just stepped out of bounds, and the ball will go to Maryville College.
Emma Olsen's re-entering. She has taken Garris Grant's place with 2:11 in the game. And you hear some cheers coming up as Yarissa Castro is now going to be entering the game. So.
Gerald's inside to Lowry. Lowry with the shot. No good. Rebounded by Ashlyn Edwards. Kaylin Smith with the ball in the right wing. Emma Olsen now with the ball. She'll turn, give it to Deja White. White will drive. White with the shot and blocked by Upshaw, but they're going to call Upshaw with the foul.
The foul is on Maryville, number 22, Catherine Upshaw, her first and second.
And Heath, that will be her first for the game, team second during this period.
That's Deja White at the line.
Now coming in for Maryville, number 34, Yarissa Castro, or as her friends like to call her, Yari. Up with the free throw and good is Deja White. Hicks to inbound, and she'll give the ball to Brooke McCurdy. Minute 33 remaining in the fourth. It's 81-45. Maryville leads. And Scott, the new addition to the team over here at the scorer's table, getting ready to check in as well. Hicks with the ball. She'll get it over to Upshaw. Upshaw with the shot and good. And Maryville will call a timeout. We'll take one with them with a minute 15. Excuse me, they're just calling a timeout for the substitution. So the new addition now in the game, the junior 5'7" guard from Maryville, Tennessee, Emerald Van Winkle, with her first appearance for Maryville College.
Yes, and she is replacing Brooke McCurdy.
Ball inside, up, no good by Olsen.
Thought Yari was going to have a rebound. She had the ball knocked out of her hand.
I know, trying to get her on the stat sheet is Coach Trevelyan. As on offense a minute ago, he was trying to get them to give the ball to Yari, but Yari was there trying to set a pick. So they ended up throwing to Upshaw, and Upshaw made the basket. Upshaw will hand it off to Van Winkle. Van Winkle around the pick, back to Upshaw. They get the ball to Yari. Yari up with the shot.
Oh!
No, just missed it. But another player, Scott, making a play and almost getting the ball back to Maryville as Van Winkle dives and saves the ball from going out of bounds. You know, I tell you what, there's only a minute left to play, but just that alone tells you what you need to know, you know, about Van Winkle, the new addition, is she's going to give you all she's got.
Oh, definitely. Bria Hill is now entering the game. He is replacing Ashlyn Edwards for the Scotties.
Looks like they may try to do this again as Upshaw with the ball over to Hicks. Back to Upshaw, trying to get the ball inside. Now over to Lowry. They get it. And Castro almost with the ball again, but stolen by Kaylin Smith. And we've got 11 seconds left on the clock. Smith for three. No good. Rebounded by Yarissa Castro. And Castro now on the stat sheet.
And Coach Trevelyan said, hold the ball until we finish the game.
And that's going to be your ball game. Your final score, Maryville College 83, Agnes Scott 47. And what a game by Maryville.
Oh, yes, definitely, Heath. That was a good game, good fight game. Good game to tune up for tomorrow. Agnes Scott has a good group of girls, especially Grant. Grant is a really good force underneath for them, scoring 15 points tonight. So definitely a good game for both teams.
Absolutely. So now coming on with us here in the post-game show, we're going to bring in Coach Trevelyan. Coach, great game today by the Scots. 5 players in double figures. How about the offense?
Great balance. You know, we got. It's funny. We got off to a pretty good start. Then we hit a little bit of a lull. Then we finished the quarter okay. Got to the second quarter, and we were stuck at 30 for about 4 minutes. You know, and we had some shots that were pretty makeable around the bucket, some decent looks, and just didn't put it in the hole. So they whittled it back to 10 at the half, and then we came out in the second half. got a couple threes, I think, right off the bat. I know Elsa got to the free throw line, and we had a bunny. We started off, I think, on like an 8 or 10-0 run to start the second half. And then after that, everybody kind of loosened up. And those same shots that had presented themselves in the first half, people were ready to toe up and make in the second half.
Yeah, great offensive play. Another player, Coach, to talk about today, Catherine Upshaw,
Yeah.
4 of 4 from behind the three-point line.
Awesome. With Kat, the deal is we want her to shoot it. Just shoot it, man. Like, you're open, get out here, toe it up, and shoot that thing. And she did today. She was popping them in there. It was great. So really happy for her. I mean, she's a senior who has done everything right. She missed last year with a knee injury, and so she rehabbed, got herself back. And so I'm really, really happy for her. I didn't know she was 4 for 4, but I'm thrilled to hear that.
Yeah, great game, and just more of an emergence of some of these key players. Wandale has really come along over the last few games, and then now you've got 2 big-time scorers on the outside in McCurdy and in Upshaw.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, and I loved how unselfish we were. I don't know how many assists we had, but it had to be in the neighborhood of 20 because I know we were really sharing it and people were getting good looks. And at the same time, I really liked our press today. Our half court wasn't great. We got to be a little bit better in the half court, especially working on the post defense some. But the unselfishness offensively, a lot of people stepping up into new roles and emerging, and just the chemistry too. The chemistry was really nice. You could see how excited they were for each other, which was great.
Absolutely. You talk about moving the basketball and being unselfish. I think after the first half, 16 points off of turnovers in the first half, and a lot of that on that fast break. And that first player typically didn't make the shot. They looked to pass, and always that bounce pass to the next player.
Yeah, that's kind of the MO of this team, is they are incredibly unselfish, and they really like to play with each other. It's funny, in the past few days, you've seen them kind of come out of a shell, and they're really sharing it, and there's a good vibe. And the other day we're coming back from the Covenant game, which was a really good game. We're coming back on the bus, and they're breaking out the karaoke machine and having a ball on the bus, and it's just really fun right now, which is nice.
Yeah, that's excellent. And so big time win today. Now we got to come back in a back-to-back tomorrow and play Wesleyan at 1 o'clock. What do you need to do to be prepared for tomorrow?
Yeah, just regroup a little bit. Get ready. We have not played Wesleyan yet, and so we'll come in the morning and walk through some stuff, just so we're all on the same page with what we're doing offensively, defensively, and just try to get a little bit of rest tonight. The 1 o'clock is a really quick turnover, but that's okay. It's a time of year. That's what we're doing, and so we're trying to plan for that and make adjustments in practice to be ready for all these back-to-backs.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck tomorrow as well.
Man. Appreciate it.
We'll be back here on the call tomorrow at 1 p.m. as Maryville takes on Wesleyan. And Scott, bringing you back on in the headset, your final takeaway from today's ball game.
That you mentioned, talking with Coach Trevelyan, their fast breaks. Maryville constantly during the first period stealing the ball, getting layups, building a big lead, taking control of the game, basically letting Agnes Scott know that Maryville was going to be here, going to be a force today. And to be honest with you, just watching the game, and of course Libby and Claire both were in their faces constantly, but another player that I was really impressed with just watching today, especially defensively, was Elsa Eckenrod.
Yeah, Eckenrod had a really nice game today. Looking at individual statistics, we'll start with Agnes Scott, as Garris Grant led the way with 15 points. Then you had Shea Sweat with 8, Deja White with 7, Emma Olson with 6, Kaylin Smith with 6, and Annie Weimerskirch with 5. Looking over at Maryville, as we mentioned, some unselfish play. 5 players in double figures for the Scots today. Leading the way was Libby Gardner with 17, Brooke McCurdy with 14, Claire Varney with 13. Upshaw also had 14 as well. She was 4 of 4 from behind the arc. Shelby Hicks with 11. Wandell had 2. Eckenrod had 8. Eckenrod just filling up the stat sheet. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. Really came to play today. Big time playmakers. Delaney Lowry had 2. Holland Geralds had 2. So you had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players with points in today's ball game for Maryville.
Oh, excellent game, and good team chemistry, as Coach Trevelyan was talking about earlier. Looks like they're finally starting to really start to play with each other a little bit better, and being able to maybe put something together as we get closer towards the end of the season, and as they get closer to conference tournament and so forth like that. But really good to see. Looking forward to tomorrow's game with Wesleyan as well.
I mean, it's all about getting hot at the right time. And as you mentioned, Scott, this is the time of year when you want to do that. Looking at the team statistics, Agnes Scott, 38% from the field, 23% from the three-point line. They had 33 rebounds and 31 turnovers. For Maryville, they were 45% from the field, 42% from the three-point line. They had 36 rebounds and only 14 turnovers. So a nice shooting day for Maryville College. A really good day from behind the arc, and a lot of that attributed to the 4 for 4 from Catherine Upshaw.
Oh, yeah, definitely, Heath. And this was probably one of the first games that we've called so far that Maryville has actually out-rebounded the opponent.
Yeah, so the post play continues to improve, but this offense has just continued to get better and better, and that chemistry is building at the right time. We'd like to thank you for listening to today's ball game. Your final score, Maryville 83, Agnes Scott 47. Again, we'd like to remind you to join us tomorrow as Maryville will host Wesleyan at 1 p.m. And also tomorrow on Sunday, January 20th, Maryville College will host Wesleyan for the annual Brittany Johnson Memorial Fun Game. So definitely make plans to come out, and as we celebrate Brittany's life and raise resources for her fund that desires to establish a scholarship at Maryville College. We'd also like to tell you all before we go, also on February 9th, we'd like to ask you to save that date on your calendar as well and join us as we celebrate Coach Randy Lambert's legacy on and off the basketball court for the tip-off at 2 o'clock against Huntington, as this is Coach Randy Lambert's final season for the men's basketball team, and he has had an outstanding career here at Maryville College, and we certainly want to honor him. So make sure you stay tuned in, and we'd love to see you tomorrow as well for the big-time game there. But for your final score, again, Maryville College comes away with the solid victory today, 83-47 over Agnes Scott. I'm Heath Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel, and until next time, we say so long, good night, and yes, that just happened.